Hey folks, Jim and Leila here for episode 201! Yes, we're still doing this even after 200 episodes.
Yes.
We have no life!
It's the day after Back to the Future, so...
Oh, okay.
You know.
And the day after Atari turned 40.
Yes!
And this Saturday, Donkey Kong Jr. turns 30.
I can't believe that. I played Donkey Kong Jr.
I played it in the arcade.
Crazy!
Yeah, still one of my favorite games. I love that game. I'm going to play it on my 3DS a little later.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here to do comic reviews.
Yes.
So let's stop talking about Donkey Kong Jr. and Atari and get to some comic book reviews.
Okay, so first up we've got Hitgirl, #1. This is by Mark Millar and John Romita Jr. So this bridges the gap between Kick-Ass 1 and Kick-Ass 2. And this wasn't solicited regularly through the previews. This was like a special solicit. So some people don't even know that this was out. I had to tell some people yesterday, hey, have you checked out Hitgirl? I know you love Kick-Ass. And they were like, what?
What?
What? So don't miss out on it. It was pretty good.
So yes, this exists.
Yes, this exists. So here we go. So with Big Daddy gone and the Mafia shut down for a while, Hitgirl hangs up her cape and tries normal life.
By the way, spoiler.
Yes, spoiler. But old habits die hard. When the Mafia reorganizes and starts taking out heroes, Hitgirl goes back into action and asks Kick-Ass for help. With the girls who are bullying her at school. Yeah. What can you do when you're a superhero? You can't just use your superhero powers against the girls at school who are stupid.
Nope.
You gotta deal with it another way. So that's kind of cool. Meanwhile, Red Mist organizes a group of his own to take back the family business and run it supervillain style.
Yay?
Yeah. So, I love how Miller explores Mindy's life after her father's death, dealing with sort of a loss of power and a bit of her identity, and how she aims to take it back, and even, dealing with bullying a bit. That's, an interesting subject to deal with. And Romita's art is wonderful in this series, as usual. This series has a really iconic look. Like, if you just showed someone the artwork, I think you would be like, oh, that's Kick-Ass. Like, it's that whole universe. The way that they've done this, it's so unique to this story, and I just really enjoy the look and feel of it. So if you haven't read this or don't even know that it's out, go and get it. It was a really great read.
Alright, next up, more superhero stuff. We have the HyperNaturals, and in this one, meet the HyperNaturals, a celebrated galaxy-wide superhero task force that keeps the peace, but as the galaxy teeters on the edge of chaos, the original team disappears, and it's up to a group of retired and novice recruits to save the galaxy.
So it's like Green Lantern, but...
Yeah. Pretty much. I will say this is from Abnett and Lanning.
I do
so
like
the writing is always good,
Yeah.
but it's very Verhoeven-esque in this.
Okay.
It's very much kind of Verhoeven style, like RoboCop. So like there are advertisements throughout the thing, and saying join the HyperNaturals today, etc., etc.
That's kind of neat.
It's interesting. Story-wise, it's okay. I mean, it's not Abnett and Lanning's best, but you can't be perfect all the time.
No, true.
Artwork is really nice in this. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did like that.
But as for the story, it's a little all over the place. It's really trying to concentrate on too many characters at one time, so you don't...
Yeah, that's hard with a team book. It always is, right?
And you don't get really introduced well to these characters. It's like one main character that you really get introduced to through the story, but the other characters, you're like, where did these people come from? Who are they? Etc., etc. And I mean, I know this is going to be...
you'll find out about them later, no doubt.
You'll find out, but it's like, I want to know about these characters now. At least something to tell me who these people are.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're a superhero fan, check this one out. It's actually pretty interesting. And if you're a Paul Verhoeven fan, like RoboCop and Starship Troopers and etc., you're probably going to like this because it's very stylistically like his stuff.
Okay, next up we've got SpiderMan, #2. This is by Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pichelli. So previously, #1, we already reviewed it, Peter Parker was accidentally transported to another universe by Mysterio. Spoiler! And a universe with a Spider-Man all its own. So in this issue, Peter and Miles, after coming face to face, really size each other up, and Peter tries to figure out what is different in this universe compared to his own, other than he's dead in this one. Yeah.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. Anyway, meanwhile, Mysterio is unhappy Peter has found his this other universe that he's been transported to. He was using it as his own personal playground, and he's definitely out to remove him from this new universe and get him back to his original one. So I'm really enjoying this series. It's interesting to see how the two Spider-Mans interact, and how different they really are, like even power-wise. And I love the joke about the cooler Nick Fury in the Ultimate Universe versus main universe. Hilarious. I particularly love the art. Sarah, awesome. I love the details in the backgrounds, the facial expressions, and the action scenes. They're all awesome. I have no complaints here. And the first 2 issues have sold out at the distributor level. They've gone back to print. For second printing. So if you're not reading this miniseries and you like Spider-Man, even if you like the Ultimate Spider-Man, you should be reading this. They're both together in one book, and it's pretty awesome. So check it out.
Next up, we have another Watchmen book for our Watchmen month, as it were.
Yes. It wasn't planned, but...
Yeah, it wasn't planned, but it's just turning out that way. This is Before Watchmen, Niteowl #1. By Straczynski and the Kuberts.
Yeah.
So, alright.
Good team.
Great team. Sadly, it does not work well here.
Oh, sad.
Anyway, in this one, Daniel Dryberg inherits the mantle of the costume crime fighter known as Niteowl from Hollis Mason of the Minutemen. And upon his debut, Daniel meets what is to become his future, the Watchmen.
Okay, so that's a good linking story.
Alright, so where this book shines is showing the past of the Niteowl that we know.
Of Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's how he meets the Niteowl previous to him.
Okay.
And he learns and becomes basically kind of a sidekick and helps him with his inventions. And
he's like Robin to the Batman.
Kind of, yeah, kind of. Where this book really fails, however, is that it retreads territory we've already seen.
Yeah, okay.
And that I don't like. I mean, yeah, this is all really retreading stuff we already know, but
yeah,
this book just retreads over stuff that we already know.
Yeah.
We don't need to know these things again. It's just, and when you have, and sadly, when it's Straczynski writing it, so really,
it comes out sort of like fan fiction almost.
Almost,
right?
Yeah. There are scenes that are literally taken.
Yeah.
And beautifully drawn by the Kuberts, mind you, but they're literally taken from the original Watchmen books.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've seen this. Why do I need to see this again?
Yeah.
It really kind of underscores the original Watchmen, and I don't like that. And out of all the ones that have come so far, this is my least favorite.
Yeah.
And as much as I love the Kuberts, I just don't think it works here. And Straczynski's writing is, well, he's ruined a lot of things in the last few years.
Niteowl is a hard one, right? Not as hard as Ozymandias is going to be, or however you say it.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, I can't recommend this one, and
Which is a shame, because I really loved the comedian. It was awesome.
And I quite enjoyed Silk Spectre, but this one really kind of jumps the shark and sadly just does not work. But I guess if you're a Watchmen fan, or a Straczynski fan, or a Kubert fan, you're probably going to want to pick this one up, because at least the art's nice, and even though we have to suffer through Straczynski's terrible writing, it's there.
I don't agree that all the time terrible, but maybe not in this one.
Superman. Need I say more?
It's a challenge to write Superman, but that's a whole other show. Okay. Anyways, next up we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 68.
He walked everywhere.
This is by Dan Slott and Giuseppe Camuncoli. So you'd say, Leila, why are we reading an Amazing Spider-Man book at this point? Because there's a new arc starting called No Turning Back, and it starts right here. So, in this one, Spider-Man has saved the world again, and he saved Dr. Octopus, but he's still not happy because Silver Sable was lost, and Peter's kind of sick of people dying. You know, he takes this whole tact of, while it's my watch, no one's gonna die, which is impossible to keep up.
Gwen!
Yeah, impossible. So when Dr. Morbius discovers...
Aunt May!
Yeah. She didn't die. I lobbied for that, but anyways, another story. Okay, so when Dr. Morbius discovers a way to cure the lizard, Peter jumps at the opportunity to return humanity to an old friend who's so lost that he killed his own son. But maybe not everyone can be saved. I can tell I'm gonna love this storyline from the last page. I'm gonna love it. And I love the art, I love the writing. This is gonna be, I think, a good story arc for Spider-Man again, and it's so up and down for me. It's well timed with the movie, because this is a big arc featuring the lizard, which is, figures big in the movie coming up.
I hate the design of the movie lizard, but I won't go into that. That'll be for next week's show.
Yeah, so when we review the movie.
Yeah.
So, but I gotta say, I really enjoy this, and I was excited what they're dealing with Peter really, going through, I think, what every hero goes through, where you put yourself out there to save people, but it doesn't always go the way that it's planned, and how do you deal with that afterwards? I think it's really interesting.
Alright, next up we have Idolized Zero. Alright. In this one, a young girl with a dark past seeks revenge on the villain known as Stasis by auditioning for superhero idol and being able to join the Powered Protectors. But first she has to get past the audition process, which is deadly in and of itself.
Okay, so first of all, when we saw this in the previews, we were both like, okay, superhero idol, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that was all totally the reason why.
But it really doesn't focus on that.
Oh! Lost opportunity.
Very much so. You're introduced to superhero idol, okay? And she decides to audition.
Yeah.
But it immediately goes through her basically winning the damn contest, and the book ends where she's completely screwed it all up and has killed pretty much everyone.
You've missed so many story beats in between. Yeah. Like all the people trying out.
Yeah, this could have been so much better. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's an interesting character arc here for this particular girl. Mm-hmm. But when you've got an interesting idea of like having a superhero idol type show, focus on that. Yeah, focus on her challenges and
make it from her perspective.
But also focus on other characters and their dreams and everything else that happens. Because you can't just focus on one character who's it's going to be your main character, but you just can't focus on one because there are going to be so many going like, I want to be a superhero. Why can't I be a superhero? I mean, really.
That's missed opportunity. I think
it's a very big missed opportunity. I mean, I enjoyed the book overall. But when you have such an interesting form or idea...
A premise, that rocks.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the Free Comic Book Day edition of this.
Yeah.
And that one had more in there than this did. So,
Yay for the Free Comic Book Day book.
Aspen, you really dropped the ball in this one. Artwork, always as great as from Aspen, but story-wise, you dropped the ball. Man, you dropped the ball, and now it's dribbling down the court, and you can't pick it up.
Sports analogies, like that's how crazy it made him.
I'm going cuckoo here, just thinking about it. But I can't highly recommend this one. It's just, it dropped the ball, like I said, and that makes me kind of sad because I was looking forward to this one, and I mean. All of us were. Yeah. Me, you, and Julie were saying, this looks pretty fun, but when you don't focus on what's going to be the interesting part of the series, there's no point. Yeah. No point, and that's just sad. So, no, I can't recommend this one, but try it out if you at least want to try something a little tiny different.
Okay, so we don't very often do kids' books on our show.
We do, but not too often.
Not too often. Sometimes we get slammed for it, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, but I think that every once in a while is good to do a kids' book so that people get an idea of what's out there. This is an example.
Yep.
This is Ice Age, Where's the Thunder? So this is a prequel.
Ice Age 4 is coming.
Yes, this is a prequel to that, to Continental Drift, okay? So in this one, Lewis the Mole Hog is scared to leave his home underground, but when he's asked to forage for food, he's determined to prove that he's braver than everybody thinks he is. And while above ground, he's confronted by a dangerous lightning storm, but with a little help from his friends, Crash, Eddie, and Peaches, everyone survives, and, there's the typical Scrat story in there, too. I liked.
He's got to get that acorn, man.
Gotta get it.
It's like 15 years on, and he still hasn't got that acorn.
I know. How's he not starved to death?
I know.
I don't know. Anyway, I love the Ice Age universe. I'm a huge fan. I just think it's great. This is a great story for kids, and fans of the series won't be disappointed. I think this is a really good job by Kaboom. My only thing is, and I understand why, but I can still dislike it, is that it's not regular comic book size.
This is a big problem with a lot of kids' books from not just this company, but Arcana, a couple other companies as well, Archaea. I mean, really, guys, get with the program. These don't fit into comic bins. They can't be stored.
No. Like, I know that you're trying to sell to mass market and make it look like a picture book, and so that it's like kid friendly.
I can understand that, but when you're trying to sell it to the direct market, for comics, it's just not going to work very well because we can't do anything with it. It won't go into the bins.
No, exactly. I mean, I guess everybody could build a bin separately for this kind of size, but I don't know. It's just, and when you put it on the shelf, like, it's so much smaller than everything else, and other books cover it, and it's just,
people just ignore it, and that's sad.
Yeah.
Because really, people should be buying this stuff because it's great to have something good for kids.
Yeah, it's really well done, and there's a lot more children's material out there than you would think. And the other thing is price point is sometimes always an issue, but this is a good price point. They brought it in at $3.99 US, which is good, because a lot of children's books, they do them and then they're like $10, and parents don't want to spend that on a book that's going to get trashed or whatever, right? So, I mean, I think this is a really good job, and I don't know what the solution is to the kid book issue, but I vote for the comic book size. Yeah, just me.
All right, and last and certainly not least, we have Das Moustache.
Nice.
And in this one, the city's hero, Das Moustache, must fight a strange beast and defeat it, or the city will be turned over to the piratess Dana and her pirate army. But even with the help of the mysterious, lovely Heartstopper, will Das Moustache be able to win?
Nice.
Alright, this
is a viewer send-in?
This is a viewer send-in from Mike Lucas, who also sent us a book a couple weeks back, both of which... And I mean, both of these books are fantastically written, fantastically drawn, and absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
You got some really interesting characters here. This is a really interesting manga-ish style, but with a very American style as well. Definitely. And it really works well here. I quite enjoyed this one, and it's a really good read, and it's full color.
Nice.
So go to the link below and pick this book up, or pick up his other books as well, because they are simply fantastic, and I cannot wait to see him again at another show, because quite frankly, I want to get a commission from him, and he's got some beautiful work here, and I really recommend people checking his stuff out, because it's simply wonderful, and you will have a hilarious time. Yeah. These characters are, well, very underscored, but really hilarious. Yes. You don't really need to know too much about them because it's pretty much told to you on the cover who this guy is. Yeah, exactly. So really, I had a lot of fun with this. This was a great laugh riot and really interesting characters and a really fun story. So check this one out. I quite enjoyed it. And we will see you next week with our SpiderMan review.